Hello, Donna. Hello, Natalie. Welcome to this first time ever event of twofold. Natalie and I doing a little chat, and also I'm doing this live via YouTube on my phone and also Zoom on my computer. So it's my first time ever doing this. I may be looking back and forth, but right now we're just going to be recording on Zoom here and live on YouTube. I will be able to see questions for both if anybody has questions. YouTube, anybody there, if you want to scroll and ask questions, I will be looking at that. And Natalie will be checking via our participants raising their hands. Mina has joined us on Zoom. Welcome, Mina. So get yourself settled. We just started. You will be muted, Mina, unless you have any questions to ask. We haven't officially started yet, so I'm just going to go through all the rules. So anybody who watches this later, because I will be uploading it or downloading it, I don't know what the difference is these days, to my YouTube channel. Those who are watching it live on YouTube now, you will see the recorded version of Zoom. So you will be able to see all of this, plus whoever else has joined us on Zoom. So I do see a participant on Zoom and a participant on YouTube. Yay! So officially, you have joined us for this live stream chat on relationship and how that now presents itself in the new paradigm. Natalie and I will be talking about old paradigm and new paradigm ways of viewing relationship. Hi, everybody on YouTube. So we're going to start with just this little introduction. Most of you here probably know me or know Natalie or both of us. I'm going to introduce myself and what relationship meant to me in the old paradigm. And then Natalie's going to do the same. And then we're going to continue talking about how relationship moves through us, how relationship moves into the new paradigm, and how we relate via relationship to people, ourselves, objects, spirit, animals, anything that relationship would mean to us in the new paradigm. Hey, everybody who's joining on YouTube and Zoom. As I said before, I am doing this two ways live, Natalie and I have YouTube going and I have Zoom going. I don't know if people do it this way, but this is the way I'm doing it. So I want to thank Natalie. She is my co-host today. She will be handling letting people into the Zoom meeting and also seeing what I do not, as well as the riffing back and forth of the two of us. Natalie and I have known each other for probably over 4 years, Natalie. She has seen my growth as I have seen her growth in life and relationship. And we talk a lot, not often, but we talk a lot. And when we do talk, it's always this great banter back and forth. What I don't see as a different generation than Natalie, obviously, I will be 59 this month. Yes, Capricorn rocks. And Natalie, I don't know exactly how old is she, but she's in her mid to late 20s. And she sees things in a different way. And she also can communicate in a different way what I say. So we commented yesterday together how she can say what I just said, say the same thing, but communicate it in a different way. And that's what's great about our conversations. I think there will be many opportunities to go down rabbit holes in this conversation, but we're going to keep it to one rabbit hole, hopefully, and hopefully Natalie keeps Spirit and myself on track with that also. I'll state again that everybody is muted unless you want to ask a question at some point. YouTube, you should be able to chat. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping you're able to chat a question if you need. I'll be checking in with that, and Natalie will be checking in with my Zoom viewers You can ask a question at any time, and we will get to you as soon as there's a break in the chat. So about Donna, I've been doing spirit work for close to 9 years, but I've been on a learning path via relationship for probably 30 plus years. Relationship included my parents, my siblings. Later on, as I had my daughter, my relationship with her, friends, colleagues, and with partner relationships. When I started doing my work with yoga and meditation, I was working on relationship as a mirror, relationship as in a partnership, as a mirror to what I was calling in. However, at that time, I don't think I was coherent or conscious of that it was a mirror of what I was calling in as a lesson to myself. So relationship is always about us. It's about what we're doing, about how we're viewing something. It's also about lessons that we're learning in that view of relationship. So let me start again with a definition of relationship. Relationship is the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected. So you can see how that could mean relationship with the place you're living, relationship with a person, relationship with a cat. If you saw my Instagram post today, my cat who passed in 2014 made an interesting appearance in my life this morning from the non-physical world. So my relationship with an animal that has crossed over is about relationship. And I would have never viewed it the way I viewed it this morning if I did not do this work as a medium and do this work with spirit, my relationship with spirit. So back to when I was having relationships with men, back in my past, my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, even my 40s, I was viewing it as, what can they do for me in that relationship? Not what am I learning from them, but what can they do for me? And if they weren't doing for me what I wanted, what cropped up? Anger, lots of arguments, lots of push and pull back and forth. And my men in my life were all about unavailable, whether it was physically unavailable, emotionally unavailable, spiritually unavailable. That was my MO. And then when Jerry appeared from the non-physical world, the first spirit that I saw in non-physical, we could consider that a relationship. So when I looked at him in the non-physical world, he was attractive, he was an older man, and he was unavailable. That was just my type. So to me, that was the start of a new relationship with the spirit world that I didn't even know what was going to happen further on. So after I left the state of Vermont and that last relationship, that was basically the last relationship I had. That was in 2009, but I hadn't seen that man 5 years prior to that. So we're looking at 2004, 2003. So it's been a long time since I've been in relationship with a partner. So I've been using everything else in my life, relationship with friends, relationship with colleagues, relationship with my daughter and my siblings as a path to learning, as a path to growing, as a path to all my lessons this lifetime. That was a beautiful thing. Consciously, I began to recognize what I wasn't doing and what I wasn't conscious of in my past relationships. I didn't judge. That was very difficult. I didn't judge myself or them, but I still hold on to a lot of things that happened in those past relationships. I'm still learning from those past relationships. For instance, that last gentleman that I left, hi to everybody on YouTube. I'm doing both here. I'm streaming YouTube and I'm streaming on Zoom. So that last relationship that I left, I still have dreams of that person. So when I wake up, I notice, and I don't speak to him, obviously I don't see him, and I don't want to be with him, but the dreams still come in. So when I wake up from those dreams, I think about what I was feeling in that dream, what I was feeling when I woke up from that dream. And knowing that that gentleman is really me in that dream, what was happening? So the last one I had, he was literally running away from me. And I kept saying, but look at me. I'm great. Look at everything I'm doing. So I took that as a lesson, said to Donna, what are you running away from? How are you running away from the true Donna that you are? So even though that guy was in my dream, it wasn't about him. It was still my projection of him. So after that last dream, I said, Donna, what am I still not looking at? What am I still not accepting myself as? And then I just took on this new, yes, I am great. Yes, I am doing these things. And I need to start looking at that acceptance of the true me. And that put me on a whole another path to acceptance, consciousness, relationship to myself, relationship again to my dreams and what they mean to me. So everything is about relationship. It's not just the physical relationship. It's not just the relationship with your family. It's always about learning. And what can you learn from relationship? So that was a short synopsis of my past relationship and what I viewed relationship as old paradigm and moving into new paradigm relationship. And when I first said to Natalie, I saw that she did a live video with someone, they were talking about dating, and I'm so far removed from that. She's a different generation when it comes to that. I'm not dating. And she is. So I saw her doing a little video on Instagram about that. So I said, why don't you and I do something like that? And she went, great. And I said, I don't know who said it first. Let's do one on relationship. So I said, great, I'll make some notes for you and I'll send them over. And then when I sent them over, I'll let her tell you what she thought when she received that from me. So introducing now Natalie, my friend for many years here, and she's on the opposite coast of me. So I thank her for making her way to this Zoom and YouTube live event. Natalie, welcome.
Thank you. So I guess I'll start off with the notes that you sent over and kind of what I gathered from the information that you gave me. So I started to think about old paradigm versus new paradigm. And I started to look back at my life and, you know, what dating was like for me 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and what it's transformed into now as I've spiritually evolved. And I think one of the big things for me is, and this really resonated with me when you said that you would get angry with your partners because they weren't showing up for you the way that you wanted them to show up for you. And I've had a lot of that experience too. And I think it's been a learning for me that no one can really give me what it is that I need. I have to sustain myself through my own love, through my own work, through finding what is fulfilling me in my own life. And I think that just has come through a lot of experience and lessons. And I think one of my favorite learnings has been through Eckhart Tolle, where he said that relationships are not here to make you happy. They're really here to awaken you, to make you more conscious. And I walked away from that thinking, well, geez, I've been doing it wrong the whole time. I've been looking for happiness in someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a tough one. Well, I mean, that's what we learn. We evolve, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it took me 40 years to figure that out. So good. All right. What else?
So just a question for you. What do you see in the new paradigm? What else does that look like?
So we started a little bit about that, talking about new paradigm and how it brings up our consciousness. Relationships now bring up consciousness. They also bring up, if you want to talk about the word spirituality, spirituality is consciousness. Spirituality is integrity. So in the new paradigm, relationships now have to have integrity and intimacy. And I saw this quote, I love this quote, back in St. John. So many years ago, I took my first vacation, my first yoga vacation by myself. And I saw this quote outside a restaurant on this sandwich board, and it said, the key, let me see if I get this right. Did I write it down? The key to intimacy, did I write it down? I'm looking on my notes. Oh, the key to intimacy is the commitment to honesty and the radical forgiveness necessary for honesty to be safe. So when you're honest with someone, whether it's your family member, a colleague, a friend, or a partner, when you're honest with someone, do they make it safe for you? Or do they come back with, statements like, that's not the way I meant that. That's just you being emotional. You're being too emotional. You're taking me too seriously. You're taking me too literally. So to Donna, that's not safe. If I'm going to state my feelings and be truly honest with someone, which is the way I live my life, which you see right now, and the way I talk is the way I talk to everybody, whether it's the gross person in the grocery store that I don't even know, or Natalie, my daughter, or my siblings. So if the person I'm in relationship with in that moment, whoever that is, if they're not accepting my honesty, I have to ask myself a few things. Can I get through to this person and say again, this is the way I feel. Would you like to talk about it? And now I give that person another opportunity to say, wait a minute, okay, maybe I reacted too harshly. So that's the new paradigm of relationships, having open communication, honesty, without judgment, without fear of retaliation or fear of, let me put this back on you now. And then you, as the other person in the relationship, has to now figure out what I'm going to do with this if this person doesn't want to relate to me. And that, to Donna, I left a lot of relationships in the old paradigm without any of that. I was being honest with that person coming back at me and saying, oh, that's just you. Stop taking this so literally. You knew who I was when I started the relationship. We started. Why would this matter now? Old paradigm. But I could never get out the words that said, no, I'm not that. I'm not what you're saying I am. Right? Now I can do that. Now I can stand in who I am in this fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional Donna. Speak how I want to speak with clarity. Being a clear conscious channel for spirit has taught me that. And then trusting myself, leaving no room for doubt. That's tough. Because you could lose friends, you could lose a relationship, right? You could lose a sibling because you want to be honest now. You don't want to not say the words anymore, right? So how does that feel? Thanks everybody on YouTube.
That feels like acceptance.
Acceptance of which? Me or yourself or?
Both. Yeah, accepting what your honest truth is, and then accepting what the other person's honest truth is, right?
So what happens when someone says back to you those things? Like, I know what I went through in the old paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
When you're honest with someone and they can't take it, they're on a different level, a different vibration, whatever you want to call it, no judgment, because it's still all about you, right? You invited that person in to mirror that back. So how do you relate to that now in relationship? What do you say when that person comes back with something that doesn't feel good?
I think I used to put myself in a place where I would devalue myself if that person didn't mirror back to me what I was hoping.
Mm.
And now it is kind of acceptance in itself. Just, if this person can't accept where I'm at, it's no longer tarnishing the way that I feel about myself and my own self-worth and my own value.
In the new paradigm.
Yes.
Yes. That was good. Because in the old paradigm, you wanted that person to mirror back love. So your relationship with yourself at that point was contingent on other people's. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. There was a moment many, many years ago, before I became a medium, when I was doing some deep inner work, doing a lot of dream interpretation with a Jungian analyst. It was powerful, those years in Vermont for me, figuring out who I was. And I accepted a blind date. I forget how it happened. And back in the days when I was dating, yes, it happened, Natalie. I did date. And I was trying to move away from the guy that I've been speaking about because he was the most powerful in my life at that time, not a good way. I was trying to move away from him. So I said, Donna, you got to start dating. You got to date somebody else. So minutes before I was supposed to meet this blind date, we didn't have texting back then. I must have received an email, and he canceled on me. So I said, all right, I'm just going to go for a drive. So I get in my car and I start to back out of my driveway, and I'm looking through the rearview mirror, and I hear in the back seat, I hear a voice say to me, see, I told you you weren't good enough. You might as well go back to Jim. That was the guy. I turned around as if there was someone in the car with me. That's how loud and clear that voice was. Now, that was one of my voices. That was me. That was a voice that I allowed now to come forth. That was a voice that I was in relationship with for so many years, like you were just talking about, Natalie. That was the old me shoving that me down. I don't want to hear that voice. I don't want to hear that voice of judgment. So I allowed people, relationships, in my outside world to mirror back the judgment that I had on myself. That way, my judgment couldn't come up to the surface. Mm-hmm. I always say, no one can judge me louder than I judge myself. Mm-hmm. How does that feel, Natalie?
The spoken truth. Nope. I think there's so many of us that can resonate with all of this because I think it's just a lesson, just a universal lesson. The universal lesson to come back to loving and accepting ourselves. And I have a question for you. Why do you think the voice came up when it did? Why were you able to hear it then and not before?
Good question. It was so deeply buried from childhood, right? Most of our experiences come from childhood or past lives, but it was so deeply buried until I started doing more conscious work, yoga, meditation, my therapy. I had a regular therapist. I had that Jungian analyst. I was reading so much at that time that I was allowing the true Donna, this other dimension of Donna, that wanted to come up and relate to me. I was saying it's okay, it's safe to come up. So that time in the car, I didn't turn around, I didn't deny it, I didn't say shut up. I said, thank you for coming up. Thank you for allowing me to hear now that voice that I've shoved down for so long. No one can judge you louder than you judge yourself. You have to make space, create space to hear it. Now, Natalie, you're a different generation and you've been on this path. Well, you've been more conscious on this path than I was at your age.
Mhm.
So, do you have that voice? What does your voice say in relationship to whether it's a partner or whether it's a colleague?
I had an interesting situation come up the other day at work. And it was like someone didn't do something that I would have liked them to do. And I realized that I took it personally. And then I had a conversation with a friend, and my friend said, listen, this is the way that people might behave when they don't enjoy their work, when they're frustrated at work. And then I realized, oh, this could not even be about me. This could just be the fact that, people are unhappy with their jobs.
Yeah.
And then I think that, it's still something that even as I'm actively dating, and I've kind of grown in a place where I value myself and I accept myself. So I feel more comfortable dating, but there are times when that little voice of judgment comes up and says, do you really want to go on this date? What if this person doesn't like you? And I still have that voice. And then I go out and I end up having a great time. And I think that the voice starts to diminish the more that you push through it. And the more that you allow yourself to be seen and you say, hey, this is who I am. And you accept yourself.
What are you actively doing to allow that voice to remain present with you, to accept the voice?
The voice, the little judger.
Yeah.
What am I actively doing? Let's see.
I know what you do in your life. I know everything that you do, from your conversations to your, doing readings, or, right? You're doing the work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the work isn't just when you're on the meditation cushion, right? The work isn't just in your yoga class. When I was teaching yoga, God, that seems like eons ago. When I was teaching, everybody at the end would say, oh, I feel so good. I wish I could carry this the rest of the day. And I was like, you can. Just figure out how. But I agree. Again, I'll be 59. Is that correct? 59, I'm doing the math in my head. Yes. For a whole year, I thought I was older than I was. And my daughter finally said, Mom, you're not that age. I'm like, holy crap, I'm not. So 59 is correct. In just a couple weeks. So it's taking me a long time. But I now have a new relationship with spirit. I'm now in a new paradigm. And I've been living in that paradigm. Now, Natalie, you know me, and most of these people on these feeds right now know about me, and they know I will never teach something until I fully integrated it and practiced myself. So I don't share a blog or a YouTube video unless I can understand it at least a little bit. And you've seen, Natalie, I know you, Brianna, I know you also have seen my progression over these last 4 years. How what's coming through from spirit is changing the paradigm of relationships as well as everything else in life. Look at COVID. This is forcing a change. And to Donna, it's a beautiful change. And it's not about good, bad, right, or wrong. So let's go here, Natalie. Commonly, the common question I get in a lot of readings that I do, the person, my client will say, I'll say, do you have any questions? And my client will say, when am I going to have a partner? So let's imagine, Natalie, that you just asked that question. Okay? And Spirit says to you, well, I'm pretty sure you did ask that question maybe once or twice. That's okay. And then Brienne's raising her hand.
I absolutely.
Yeah. So
there's no doubt about
there's no doubt about that. The new paradigm of the answer, Spirit will say now, is you aren't. You aren't going to have a partner. He or she is not coming. How does that make you feel?
So if you told me that a few years ago, it would have been different for me. I think I would have felt very devastated. I might have said, well, then why am I living? It almost feels like sometimes our purpose is so tied to a partner relationship, to finding the one, that other half, right?
Yes.
And I know we're going to talk about non-duality. I have asked myself this question. I said, would I live any differently if I knew that I was never going to meet a partner, if I was never going to have a romantic relationship? And it didn't scare me, which taught me that I have evolved to a place where, you know, I am stepping into the new paradigm, because I think the new paradigm is less about looking outside of ourselves and more about finding everything that we're looking for, because we already have it. And for me, that question is interesting, because I think when I asked it, I had just a hunch to go on a certain dating app, just something kind of like a download, kind of like an intuition. And when I went on, I ended up meeting a man that I was with for a year and a half, and it was one of the best relationships I've ever had. So asking the question to me is irrelevant, because when it happens, it's going to happen.
And if it doesn't, you've already answered that too.
Yeah.
It's not easy, because we were all raised with that white knight coming through to save us as women. And think of how difficult that is for struggling with even who we are as a woman, and who we want as a partner, and what we are as female. I'm still figuring that out. I'm okay. I have not had a partner. I'm okay with that. But there's still that piece. Sure, I'd love to come home to somebody to talk about my day. But everything I get now, I get from me. And when I don't get that, I ask myself, why are you missing it? Where can you find it? It's always about me.
Yeah.
Always about me. You talked a little bit about taking things personally in any relationship, right? That happens. Spirit, I think it was Abraham Lincoln, said when I was taking something personally one day, he sat me down because I was probably crying or something. And he said, Donna, this is happening, but it is not happening to you. So I immediately looked in my head, because that's where he was, and I went, holy shit, that makes a lot of sense. Like, the situation happened. The situation where I was taking something personally happened, but it was not happening to me. Like you said, that person was either having a tough day or they were reflecting something back at me, but it didn't mean I had to take it personally. It meant, let's look at this. Thank you for coming up. Let's look at this. How does this make me feel? Let's look at this. Hi, everybody on YouTube. Let's look at this. Let's everybody take a deep breath in and out. Just take in everything that's said. I'll check in again. YouTube followers, what's happening now is I am streaming 2 ways here, on Zoom and on YouTube. The full thing will be uploaded later from Zoom to YouTube, so you'll be able to see the full conversation. If anybody has any comments or questions right now, based on what we have spoken about, YouTube, you can type it up in the chat window, and Zoom, you can raise your hand either virtually or physically. We will see both. But we're basically talking about relationship. Relationship in the old paradigm, what it looked like before and what it looks like now. We're going to move into what about relationship, what does relationship have to do with vibration? And our relationship to our vibration. We talk about vibration as dimensions, right? You've heard me speak 3 dimension, 4th dimension, 5th dimension, and up. How, Natalie, do you feel vibration right now? Because I use vibration, I use that word all the time. If I walk into a room and there are other people in the room, I sense the vibration. I ask, do I want to be around this vibration? Is it my vibration? Is it their vibration? What do I want with this vibration? You also can feel vibration on a universal level, on a world level, which a lot of us who are the way showers, who are doing this work literally every day and night for the last however many years, are feeling the vibration of the shift over the last few years, especially with COVID. So last year, 2020, was about becoming the shift. So going back to the question, Natalie, how do you feel vibration?
Mm-hmm. So the way that I'll define this for people is that let's say that you meet someone and you're thinking, wow, this person is absolutely great, and they haven't said a word. It's just something about their energy, right? And then sometimes there's people that seem so great that I don't feel worthy of their energy. I don't feel worthy of their vibration. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes there's people where I'm saying, oh, I don't really want to get close to this person. I kind of want to keep my distance from this person. That is not, that's deeper than what you're looking at on the surface. That is energy and that's vibration. And I think understanding that and starting to pay attention to that, like I've started to observe it more, especially now when we're a lot, I know Donna in Florida, things are a little more open, but here in Seattle, you know, they've closed a lot of things with the pandemic and everything else. And now when I go out, oh, wow, you know, I've been home for a long time and I sense things more and the energy is very different. So that's something that I think I've become a little more sensitive to because I've been within my own energy and my own vibration, working from home, spending more time at home, going for walks by myself. So now if I go to the grocery store, if I'm out in a public place, I really sense that energy. And that is vibration.
Yes. And you, with the contrast, right, with relationship and vibration. And in the new paradigm, we have to figure out how our vibration is moving, or are we allowing others to move us? So the year of becoming the shift is the ability not to let things that are going on around us shift us, because we are the shift. So when you walk out of your house now, you've changed. Your vibration has changed. Yes, you can pick up vibrations from the people you're with, or like when I go to New York City, I pick up that vibration. But it's a choice now because you're in a different vibration, whether to take that in and say, oh, I'm so empathic that I take in that vibration. No, that's incorrect. If you do, move it through your body, not hold on to it. So the new paradigm, as an empath, there's no such word. You're a way shower. So you're accepting the vibration outside of you, but being the shift and not thinking the shift is outside of you. So you've heard people say, I'm sure you and I have said it, wow, something must be going on. There must be a shift today. I'm really feeling something, right?
Yes.
That's something outside of us allowing us to shift us. Mm-hmm. If a relationship comes around, whether it's family, a partner, or a colleague, and something happens, taking it personally is allowing that person to shift us. Accepting the moment for what it is allowing us to be the shift. Accepting our emotions around it. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Old paradigm versus new paradigm, the shift, and becoming the shift. I just love this year the way it presented as becoming the shift. And I had to keep reminding myself to stay the shift. I don't believe in grounded anymore because that word is old paradigm. Grounded means you're stuck in one place. Grounded means stay in this one place. Grounded means stick right here because the shit is coming. I don't want to be grounded. I want to be able to do this through my life and flow through as the shift. So new paradigm, you're the shift. You're the shift. I talked about in a video, if you haven't watched it on YouTube, a video about the new paradigm of not being grounded anymore, to move through, to, instead of boundaries, old paradigm, use acceptance and choice and say, I'm making a choice not to have this person in my life. I'm not saying that they're making the choice for me. As the shift, I make the choice. Their actions, their words did not cause me to move on. I am making that choice to move on. So when I know you're dating, so when you decide, I'm not going to date this person anymore, what goes through your head in that space as the shift or boundaries or moving on?
You know, I've actually, what I've found dating this year is that I've actually been more observant of things that I would have normally I think I would have ended relationships sooner, but now I'm just kind of, that's interesting. You know, because what if someone does something that I don't like, I don't take it personally. I'm seeing that this is who this person is. And if they're doing something, it has less to do with me and more with them. And I'm accepting people as they are more. So I find that I'm evolving in that way, where I'm not just ending a relationship to end it because one or two things come up. I'm waiting for a real reason where I do see there's something that really would not help us in the long term, right? That there's actually a very big differences.
Yes.
That would not, yeah.
Yep, I get it. And so you said it. You said you're being more aware. Awareness is so key. We don't take that word as seriously as we should, to be aware. Doing body scans, to just be aware of our physical body, to be aware of our emotional body, helps us expand, helps us to evolve, because you have to be aware of everything. If I'm sitting in a meditation and something's happening, I have to notice that. I have to be aware of that. Then I have to notice, what the hell just happened? Instead of just saying, oh, that was fun. Let me get up now and go do the dishes. No, in the new paradigm, I need to take that to as many places as I can, as a medium, as everything, because I know I am the shift and I know that I can cause shifts. So I need to take everything in myself before I put it out there, because I don't want to push anyone else. But I want to send out the vibration of that, because not everybody that's in front of me is going to hear my message. There are many people that are hearing this message right now that are not on this call. The vibration of this call is moving out. And people will wake up in the morning and start to view their relationship differently, and they'll not know why. But it's because we are doing this here. I remember old paradigm. My daughter was in a relationship in college. I'm pretty sure she won't listen to this video, so she won't mind me telling this story. So she's in college and she's dating this guy, and she comes home one day, or calls me one day. She called me one day and she said, I broke up with him. I'm like, why? She said, and she told me the story of why she broke up with him. And I said, oh gosh. And she's like, what? Because she knows I'm going to give my opinion. I said, you know what? Everything you just said to me is what you're looking for in your father. That boy is not your father. You need to apologize to him. He did nothing wrong. And she got so mad. And she's never hung up on me, but I'm probably sure she said, oh, Mom, shut up. We said goodbye. Half an hour later, she texted me and said, I did what you said. You were right. I was looking for something else.
Good for Carly for taking that back.
Yep.
You know, and not just pushing it aside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I view relationship now as if you aren't in one, a partner relationship, love relationship, whatever you want to call it, that you're learning from everything else. It's not just relationship with a partner, right? And I like to say to people, if you're not in a relationship, woohoo, that means you don't have to learn that lesson. There's something else you need to learn. I also say, if you meet someone and an old lesson crops up, you're meant to learn that lesson. If you meet someone and a new lesson crops up, you're meant to learn that lesson. So there's always something to learn. That's why we're here on this planet. Do you agree with that? Like, why did we come to Earth? Earth is a learning planet.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's one thing we came here to learn. One thing, one word, Natalie.
LOVE.
That's it.
I like learning it a lot.
I have that opportunity a lot.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we can't love more. That was a very powerful phrase. You can't love someone more than you love someone else. You can't love one child more than you love another child. You can't love one food more than you love another food. You can only love more things. So if this time of the pandemic, politics, whatever, has caused you to say, I hate, no. I need to find out why that's coming up. I need to work on that. And how can I bring love? How can I balance this out? I have to notice that I have a different feeling first, right? I have to notice something is saying I feel something other than love. So there's not love or hate. There's not love and fear. There's not love and anger. There's only love and not love. That's the new paradigm. There's no lack in the new paradigm. There is no with or without in the new paradigm. So if you're not in a relationship, it doesn't mean you're without something, because there is no with or without. That's non-duality. That's non-duality of the new paradigm. That was pretty powerful. There is no with or without. If you're lacking something in your life, you're not. There's only this. So whatever you have is this, is what you're meant to have. How can you love it? How can you love it, Natalie? If there's something in your life right now that you're not liking, how can you accept it for what it is, and love it. What's the work you do?
Well, for me, it's been a practice of just, it's not going to come, I wouldn't say it comes easy the first or the second or the third time.
Mm-hmm.
But the more that you start to see, so I'm just going to give an example here. You might think that something, and you might label this as, this bad event happened to me. And then a year later, you understand why that needed to happen. And you look back and you can see it with love. So the love might not be there, but the love is always there. And you just might not know, why did this thing, and I love using that because it's happened to me so many times where I've judged something as a bad experience. And then 6 months later, I'm like, oh, that happened for my highest good. And now I can love it.
Yeah. And you figured it out.
Yeah.
You didn't hold it. I can't hold on to, because I did that for so many years with that guy. I held on to so much pain, so much heartache, so much, what did he do to me? As opposed to, what did I do to myself? How did I keep accepting? And what else do I need to learn? And now I learn it through dreams. He's not in my life anymore, and I'm still learning from that relationship. He's not even in my life anymore, and I'm still learning from that relationship. It was a very powerful relationship. It was many past lives. That's how I know it takes time. So if there's a relationship right now that you just can't get out of your head, it's probably because of a past life. But learn whatever you can learn, in it or not in it, because it's always about the present moment. Okay, let's check in again with everybody. YouTube, Zoom. Any questions? Anybody want to comment? I think this is going pretty well. Anybody? Yeah? Thumbs up. YouTube, how about a like? YouTube, how about a comment? We really appreciate everybody hanging in here. It's been a great conversation. Thanks, Maddie. Let's go to, as a medium for the last, since 2018, I've been bringing through in November what the purpose is for the following year, if you've been following me. So in 2018, I brought through the year of unity for 2018, the year of unity. At this point in the new paradigm, unity doesn't even exist. It's oneness now. Unity, to Donna, says too much, not about oneness. I like the word oneness now. So in that 2018, it was about bringing masculine and feminine together as one, because there's no duality. So there is no right and left side. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. There's only this. There's only the oneness. So 2018 was about bringing masculine and feminine together, and that was the work I'd been doing in my readings for many years, helping people bring in both sides, that masculine piece and that feminine piece, bringing them together as one. Where now you say to now we're getting to the relationship of that piece of you, where masculine was presented as ego. I'm okay with ego now. I want to work with ego. I don't want to shove ego down as relationship. I want to say to my masculine side, hey, come on board. What do you have to offer? And feminine might say, wait a minute, but they took the lead so many times, I want to take the lead now. And then I'll say to my feminine side, wait a minute now, we're all working together as one. So let's hear your side, let's hear masculine side, and let's all come together here. Let's not push away, let's come together. Same thing is happening in the world right now. I can't push away. I can't get involved with that which I can't fix, but I can always work on my two sides to come together as one. I can still work on my unity. So I've been doing that for years. So that was 2018. Do you remember that, Natalie? Do you remember bringing pieces together, bringing right and left side together?
2018, yes.
It was still when people were moving from third dimension to fourth dimension. I don't want to get too much into what that means because that would be a rabbit hole. So in 2019, I brought through the year of higher purpose. God, feels like that was just yesterday. 2020 has gone so fast. So the year of higher purpose was, okay, let's accept right now. Let's accept that everything you're doing is your higher purpose. You're not looking for it. You're not saying to yourself, oh, this is not, what is my higher purpose? You're doing it. You are it. It is whatever you're doing is your higher purpose. You can't stray from it. So whatever relationship you're in, partner or anything else, you are in your higher purpose. Remember when vision boards was the rage, right? I never liked it. Why didn't I like it? Now I know. Because everything I put on my vision board, nothing happened. Nothing happened. I got none of it. And how did that make me feel? Take a guess. Crappy.
Yes.
Natalie's thinking about it.
Yeah, I was like,
Not worthy.
bad. Yeah.
Bad. That just
Yeah.
fed that stuff that I
Yes.
showed. That's just fed that. So I'm like, why are we doing vision boards again? That was my purpose, right? To figure that out. And I'm seeing other people with their vision boards and like, I got the man, I got the car, I got the job. I'm like, I did not get anything on my vision board. So old paradigm vision boards, old paradigm, old paradigm, old paradigm. However, tell me, Natalie, how can vibration, the new paradigm, and vision boards come together? Anybody?
Because it's an energy. It's still an energy. It's still a vibration. Whatever you're putting on the poster is still your vibration.
So if you want something, how does it feel if you had it already in your life? The great job, the great relationship, if that's what you want. Then
You start looking for the next thing.
You might start looking for the next thing. Or if you kept that vibration of how does this feel to have these things, but not have them.
Oh,
And it doesn't matter if you don't get them or not, because it doesn't matter. I already feel that. I feel this. I feel this vibration of it. So it puts you in line with, you're already in your path, right? We already know it's your soul purpose, whatever you're going through. But it keeps you in that line of that vibration. So now it's going to come to you. If that was what's meant to happen. So all these people that had their vision board come true, they stayed in that vibration. But it didn't help the rest of us who weren't in that vibration, who were only in that vibration when we looked at the picture. But all the other times we were like, this sucks. Life sucks. I feel unworthy. Now, I've been depressed my whole life. I had an eating disorder back when I was in high school and before that, before anybody knew what that was. And I haven't gotten rid of any of those things. I still am in relationship to all of those things. Like we just set another precedent here. Relationship with our physical and what's going on in our mind. I have a relationship with food, but it's so much better now. And I'll always have a relationship with food. Hell, we have to keep eating. And my relationship with my depression. When I wake up and I feel it, or throughout the day I feel it, I said, I feel this again. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for showing up. What do you need today, depression? What can Donna give us today? How can we relate to depression? How can I have a more love feel for my depression? So we worked on that with the year of higher purpose. Threw away the vision board. I think I threw away that vision board that I wrote so long ago because it never happened. Now I'm in that that vibration of I feel like that already happened. I feel that. I feel that. So maybe it'll come, maybe it won't. Maybe I'll get a relationship, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll get that book deal, maybe I won't. It doesn't matter, because I'm fine. Because what Spirit said to me when I said, when am I going to find my publisher? And they're like, you're not. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not. But I still want to write this book. And Spirit said, you will write a book. Spirit never said I was going to publish it. Spirit just said I'd write the book. So my path was to write the book, and I did. I wrote it. There's one out there. There's more coming. It doesn't matter if it gets published. It doesn't matter if 1 million people read it, because the people that are meant to read it will read it. So that was 2019, the year of higher purpose. 2020 was the year of becoming the shift. We already talked about that. 2021, I leaked it out a couple places, but if you haven't heard it yet, you're going to hear it now for the first time. 2021 is the year of becoming multidimensional. Whoo! Everybody say. It's exciting. It came through about 3 weeks ago. I haven't officially released it yet. Like I said, I will be doing something on that. Natalie and I have been talking about it. I experienced it already, being multidimensional, and I had confirmation from Spirit that this is what it is. Natalie asked a question yesterday, what about these dimensions and why now? Why do you think now, Natalie? Why do you think now is the time to become multidimensional? In your view of what you think it is, because I know you're still on the fence of what does that mean. Tell me what you think it means, multidimensional.
I really think this kind of relates back to just evolving at a faster rate. So if we're multidimensional, we're able to pick up different vibrations, different experiences. This is just my own understanding of what it is. But also, I think the reason why it's happening now is because we weren't at the place where we were ready for it yet. So now we're in the vibration. Now we've gone through the shift, and now it's time.
It's time.
We couldn't have handled it.
Yes.
5 or 10 years ago, and I've learned that through you, that we were not ready for that.
Yeah. So it's not like you missed out. You didn't miss out on anything, no matter what age you are, right? It's a great time now to become multidimensional. So, yes, we weren't ready. We might have felt ready, but we needed to learn other things first. Now we have this relationship with our multidimensional selves. And yes, vibrationally, it's going to expand even more, because that's what multidimensional means. To use others, to multiply, to use other people. Whenever one or more persons come together, we can multiply our vibrations and send that out more, right? So this group coming together, thank you everybody, this group coming together is going to multiply the vibration, because we are all in relationship right now. I love the way this all came together. We are all in relationship right now. And our vibration is spitting out there so that everybody can now become multidimensional. Now, to become multidimensional, you still have to figure out you being the shift. You still have to look at that piece of you. It's not a piece of you. It's a second version of you. It's not a piece of you in another dimension. It is a second exact duplicate of you. And now we're looking at higher dimensions, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and up, where that other you is sitting. Make sense? Anybody else want to comment on their version of multidimensional? It's a word, it's a really interesting word, because we've been speaking about dimensions, but never multidimensional. And it's not duality either. It's non-duality, because it's not me and a different side of me. It's not. It's me and another me of the exact me. How am I saying that?
I'm picking it up. I'm taking it in.
Brienne,
because
what
I'm
do you
also
think?
just learning this. Yeah.
Brienne, I know you have something to say.
In my interpretation of being multidimensional, I feel that it is bringing a power to be able to meet people where they're at. And I mean, I relate it to the work I'm doing with high school kids now, that they're so awakened on so many levels that sometimes I just have to kind of let all of my expectations of their age and where they're at and what they're going through go, and then just really pick up on their vibration. And so to me, speaking to people from different places or cultures or whatever it is, being multidimensional gives me a greater sense of power to be able to just meet them right where they're at and just kind of bam, okay, I'm with you and I'm available to be able to reflect back to you what I'm interpreting.
Very good. Exactly. Because you're holding a love vibration, not any other sort of vibration, not a judgment vibration, not a duality vibration. So multidimensional is using all of those other yous to help with that. I don't think it's doable for just one of us. Like that other me is still there. She came during a meditation. She's still there. Me, I'm still there. I don't know what she's doing, but I feel different. I feel with the help, I can now anchor myself in love even more with the help of other dimensions. And those other dimensions are me, right? They're not just me up there. They're all of you up there also in that other dimension. And that's where the oneness comes in. Brianne, that was beautiful. I have a message here on YouTube I want to be able to find, and it came through and now I can't find it. How do I find it? Oh, I found it. Thank you. My friend Matthew, when we're talking about multidimensional, he says, we'll have to think about it more, but why does it keep going away? But for now, multidimensional means everyone's badassery gets multiplied. Exactly. Everything that you are, your badass self, thank you, Matthew, is multiplying. So, do you have to be more aware now? There goes.
Yes, I think that definitely more so. You have to be aware of if something's getting in the way of you tapping into those other levels and stopping you or allowing your mind to put a block in the way from you really tapping into the truth of what you're experiencing or what you're feeling or what you're honoring in the other person.
And anything could be from your badass self, from the judgment piece. Again, there's no good, bad, right, or wrong to this answer. It is what it is. And as soon as you're aware of if something you're considering bad is in the way, like Brianne said, how are you going to deal with it? Everything we just talked about. I'm going to let it in. Say, love you still, even though I'm still judging that person in my head. What can I do? It's happening. Matthew, thank you so much for that comment. Badassery. Took me a minute to say that word. It's a long word. Badass. You're all badasses. This feeling, somebody said, yay, yay. Some feeling, I didn't know if I wanted to go here, but because I've experienced this level now of being multidimensional and my awareness has heightened and my vibration now is in that multidimensional space as well as here, right? It's not just, it's hard for me to explain. It's not just Donna here, but it's Donna there. So I'm working with both Donnas now. It's gotta cause the vibration to go up. It's gotta. Gotta, that's a good word. It has to start that. It's gotta evolve our souls even more. So that allowed my cat, if you saw my Instagram post, it allowed my freaking cat, who's in the non-physical world, to come into the physical world and be with me this morning. that vibration that I was holding, that multidimensionality allowed, because non-physical's up here, we're down here. This is the vibration. As we vibrate higher, spirit gets closer and closer. So it was able to happen. Can you imagine now all the things that could happen because we are becoming multidimensional? Holy camole, right? How are you going to get there? How are you going to do it? How are you going to see it? How are you going to find it? How's it going to happen, Natalie?
It's going to happen. Yeah, I think it's just going to happen.
It's going to happen because it's happening.
Yeah, it's going to happen because it's happening. Exactly.
You got to jump on board. Are you going to jump on board?
I'm on the train.
There you go. You could also be the train. You could be the train. Like be the shift.
And I think, Donna, you're the conductor.
I will be the conductor. Hell, I'm the train. I'm the train. I'm just going to keep moving because that Donna isn't disappearing. So let's go back to relationship. Have you think about this? I don't know, did I say this to you, Natalie, the other day? What if your partner, we'll say love partner, finds you in another dimension? What if, this is interesting, what if that can happen? And then they find you up there? What does that mean for down here? I say up there because that was my image when I went multidimensional. When I skipped to that dimension, it's up there for me, in my head. Everything's about what's in my head. The image was me being up there.
Would you feel that here? Would you feel that energy here?
The partner?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think they could find?
Not physical, like not in the 3D sense, but you would feel that love or whatever that experience was.
Then do you think because we don't know what's happening in the future, we're preparing ourselves for the future. So if we are going to be in partnership, what if that person now finds us because of our multidimensionality? What if we're getting closer and closer? Because I've always said, the person you're looking for that may or may not find you is working just as hard on themselves as you are. But you can't come together unless you're both vibrationally coming together. So multidimensionality has now just set another tone for relationship. Holy crap. 2021. Multidimensionality is the new paradigm. We can become more than one of us, but yet still be one, because the oneness is everything. The oneness is here. The oneness is everything. Everything. All dimensions. We just never put ourselves. We put a piece of us in the oneness, but not our full self in the oneness. We would sit in meditation and watch ourselves ascend into the oneness. That's not what multidimensional is. Multidimensional is this Donna being there also. Oh, I'm telling you guys, it's next level shit. It's badass. Natalie.
Excited.
Excited?
No, I agree. Yeah, I think I'm still trying to understand it. You know, I'm still trying to make sense of what that will look like.
So am I.
Yeah.
Get back to the meditation cushion. There's been so many pieces of me that have hated meditation, loved meditation, told people 5 minutes, told people meditate all day, just be aware. Yes, to all of those things. But now, because I'm working on something different, a more physical manifestation, I'm meditating every day now. 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes stuff happens as soon as I start to get up. Something happens. And I'm like, well, that was cool. I sat for 15 minutes just so I can feel this last second. Yes. But Spirit said, thank you for actually setting that intention and sitting. I'm not telling you have to do anything. Just be aware of everything until you're aware of nothing at all. And your badass self, thank you, Matthew, your badass self has gone multidimensional. I don't know how many I look in my head and I'm looking to see if Spirit's got an answer for that question, and they won't tell me. But they're preparing us. Everything we're doing here is preparing us for what is going to happen tomorrow. Are you attached to the world still being here tomorrow?
Yes. I'm planning on it. Yeah.
I don't know. If there's a movie I watched a couple weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure it was the second time I watched it, but the end was the best. It was about this little boy who could do these things, these weird things, and he kept saying, I need to go to this place. I need to go to this place. And his parents were working very hard at getting him there while the FBI and the CIA were trying to get at him because they thought he had this ability. So his mother finally gets him to this open field somewhere, this really big open field. And he said, this is it. I need to be here. I have to go. And he's this little boy. And the mother's like, I know I have to let you go, because every part of him felt the vibration as I needed to be in this open field. All of a sudden, the open field turned into this other dimension of these beautiful spacey type buildings and this whole city that was there all the time, but in another dimension. And then he went off, and then the city disappeared. It was still there. And for that moment, everybody who looked saw that city, obviously alien of some sort, city, but in another dimension. It's still here. We've heard this before, right? Quantum physics, everything about quantum tells us everything is happening right here, right now. So if I ever disappear, guys, you know I'll be in another dimension, and only certain people will be able to see me. So just start knocking on doors to those dimensions till you find Donna again. Now that'll be fun. I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't know. Okay, let's hear it, because we're closing up shop here. Anybody else? Comments? This was great. I don't remember anything that was said, but I feel that everything was said in love. And with the ability to vibrationally move out so that others will pick up what we're laying down. They smell what we're stepping in. Did I say that right? I never say that right. Did I say it right? Everybody makes
I haven't heard that one.
Wait, I smell what you're stepping in? Come on. Okay, anybody else want to talk? Brienne, you agree? Mina, you agree? Anybody on YouTube, you agree?
I'm learning. I'm trying to understand, Donna. So I have to go through that your recording again and really understand. For me, this is all new.
Yes.
I have never gone here so far.
But there's no part of you pushing it away, because you stayed, you listened, the vibration you're
Oh
going to pick
yeah,
up.
I enjoyed.
Yeah. I'm picking up that vibration, babe. Seen the growth of your vibration, the evolution of your soul, the expansion of the oneness, because more of us vibrationally picking up what other people are laying down. Brienne, you working with the people you're working with, meeting them on that vibrational level, doesn't just help you, right? It helps them. Because now they don't have to do the work that we're doing here right now. They don't have to do the work they don't have to do the crap that I went through when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s. They don't have to go through that. because we're going to meet them at a different vibration, which helps them. So thank you for the work that all of us are doing. And to Spirit, I trust. That's my relationship now. Finally, coming down to this, Spirit is my true relationship right now. It's my guiding force. The synchronicities, the things I just happen to read, the words I just happen to hear, the book I just happen to find. Using all of that. People that find me just because their YouTube popped me up on their channel. Natalie, being invited to that event 5 years ago and saying yes. Vibrationally pick up what's being laid down for you. By you, we'll say Spirit, but it's you, because we are all everyone, and everyone is us. That was a good friend of mine, Walter, who passed away. Always said that to me. Natalie, close us out here. What do you think?
I'm ready to become multidimensional.
I'm loving that word. Somebody please. I'm loving that word.
I do love that. Yeah.
I think also, if you know me, you know I also speak with JFK, who came through. He was the one that talked about the shift. That was his vibration. And in my reading yesterday with Reverend Hoyt, another spirit card circle that I sat in on, the spirits that were coming out of his mouth, Hoyt's mouth, my father came through, Abraham Lincoln came through, and John came through. Brother Andrew came through, my mother, my grandmother, they all came through. My other spirit guides all came through. John was the only one I didn't know. I said to my daughter, "Who's John?" She says, "I have no idea, Mom. You have so many freaking guides. I have no idea." "Who's John?" I said, "I have no idea. I've never heard of John, ever." And when he came through Hoyt's mouth, Hoyt said, "John here, and that's all I want to say." That's what he said. That's all I want to say. And it was such a different vibration that Donna was saying, "Who is John? And he sounds like he knows me. He must know me." And my brain searched for people in my life that have passed. I know of no Johns. Last night I sat in meditation, and I was not in meditation for 3 minutes when JFK came in. And he's like, "What do you think my first name is?" I'm like, "Oh, fuck. I never call you John." So even this new dimensional piece of him came through. Donna, you're ready for John now. I'm not JFK. I'm not the president. I'm John to you. And I've been through my past life with him, and that brought tears to my eyes, because now I can call him John. But he's the soul who I once knew in a previous life. That's all. And Angel, my cat who came through, was the soul I once knew in a past life. And it was the vibration of him that came through. It wasn't him. It was the vibration of him. Right, Natalie? What did we talk about at the beginning? What did you say? How did it happen?
I think I understood it so much better when you said that you knew you wouldn't be able to feel him physically on a 3D level, but that you were feeling the vibration of him on you and caressing you. And that helped me understand what that would feel like for me.
Yeah.
When you said that.
Yeah, because if I moved, I couldn't move, but if I moved, it would have gone. It would have gone. He would have gone. So I knew enough. I was aware enough. I know when Spirit wants to talk to me when I'm in that altered state. I know to shut up and sit still. That's the only way to allow it to happen. So it was a beautiful moment. Let me check one comment here on YouTube. Love it. Kim saying, "My automatic candle came on last night, and I don't know who triggered it." That's fun. relationship with spirit, that someone is there, yes, trying to get your attention. I've had that happen. TVs have gone on and off. Noises have been made, knocks have been made. The way you find out who that is sit in meditation. Ask, who was it? Ask for whoever that was to come to you in a dream. Ask the question. I asked Angel yesterday. He passed in 2014, yesterday. It was that many years, 6 years. So I asked him for a sign. I asked him yesterday morning, send me a sign. He's a black cat. Send me a sign. I thought I would see black cats all over my walk yesterday, but I didn't. And when I went on the Zoom call yesterday with Reverend Hoyt, there in one of the little blocks of someone, there was a black cat laying on their cushion. And I thought that was it. I was like, great, Angel, thank you. And then this morning, he came through again. I'm like, wow, that was better than anything I've ever felt. I cried. Okay, Natalie, thank you. Brianne.
Thank you.
Brianne, Mina, Ruby was on before. All of my followers on YouTube. You'll see this. I'm going to upload the Zoom version of this talk so you can go back to the beginning if you missed anything. Wow. Vibrationally feel what you feel all the time now. Vibrationally feel your relationship with yourself and whoever else comes into your space, be it spirit or non-spirit. I wish you all. I hope I see you again before the holiday. I may or may not do something else. We'll see. If not, have a happy holiday and a wonderful start of 2021, the year of becoming. Say it, everybody.
Multidimensional.
Wah, 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 wah. So comment, share, like, love. You should love everything. You should love everything. Whenever you see something you love, hit that love button. Not the like or dislike, hit the love button.
It's all I use.
Love you so much. Natalie, anything else in closing?
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Mina.
Thank you, Donna.
Yeah, it was
Today
great to
I
see
have
you.
learned something amazing, different. I don't know. I have to still go through the things and understand.
Good luck with all of it.
Thank you.
Thank you, YouTube. We'll see you again. Natalie, again, my heart, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
for
being
everything.
here. We'll do this again. That was fun.
That was fun.
All right, let's figure out how to close out all these things here. I am going to close YouTube first. See you guys. Are you sure?